aborted a woman, the baby, for whatever reason she wanted to abort the child, was killed by some madcap. And these politicians use anything and everything. Do you mean to say that BJP, I don't know what, I don't even know what's going on here, this some political party, are really interested in protecting Ayodhya and some Rama's temples? They are using them for political purposes. They really don't believe in Rama. Not at all.
It's like we using God for a movie we don't hit. Or a cause.
So just the way this man, a very successful movie director, using the sufferings of the people, the misery of the people, the tragedies of the people in their individual lives, to entertain me and make money. I am not against that at all. That's what I tell him most of the time. Please, for goodness sake, don't try to educate people. You entertain them. How are you going to entertain them? By using these slums there, how the people are suffering. That's what he is doing. I am not against that. I want to be entertained. I find some sympathetic chord in those people who are acting my role there. I don't know if I make sense.
Yeah. And giving them some hope at the end.
Yes, he is making money fine. You see, it's all right with me. And they all condemn him, saying that he's copying from this, copying from that. One of these days, the computers will find out the source of all your material, how you have modified that, how you have been very clever to place the words in different places. That is why I am telling him that there is no such thing as creativity, there is no such thing as originality. Don't quote the source, you will be original. And all this talk of intellectual property rights is a sham mockery. Some nations can sign it and some other nations can be forced and bullied into to sign that, what they call the intellectual rights, copyrights. But you don't observe them. Why you don't observe them? Why you want to force them to sign all those things? What for? I know for certain that there is not one word which I can call my own, not one thought which I can call my own, not one experience which I can call my own. All of them are put in this computer. Nothing else. Nothing else. Everything is copied from somewhere or the other. Even the painters who are top painters in their field, if you ask them, are you not copying something that is there in the nature? They certainly admit. You see, they are like those people who look at those leaves. There are 4 leaves, small, tiny, weeny plants there. And they are looking for, they say that they just stumble into that kind of a thing. But actually and factually, they are looking to find that kind of a thing there and say, there it is. And they don't admit that they have always been looking for that particular thing to pick it up and show to everyone. In exactly the same way, the painter is always looking for some ideas, copying something and come up with, you see, the painting which he thinks it is something extraordinary and original. Only in nature you can find that it is not using anything as a model. When once the nature has perfected something, it throws it up and then starts all over again. But we are using models in every field of our human thought. I don't know if I make myself clear.
I can understand what you say, that there is nothing uniqueness about individual.
Nothing.
Number one. Number two, what you are saying, that nobody can say that there is anything like liberty or freedom of individual. What people professing human rights and other things they are calling. Because scientific revolution has brought to this situation that everything can be put in computer and we are copying or we are stored like that.
They will find out.
Yes,
one day.
Find out also.
That there is nothing original to my claims.
Yes.
So it's just like me robbing everything that belongs to every abundance that is there on this planet for myself and telling myself and others that I am here for a nobler and grander purpose than the mosquito, the female mosquito that is interested in hemoglobin to perpetuate the continuity of the mosquitoes. We are no different. Not only that, we are made to believe that the whole thing is created for the benefit of man. Not at all. We are exploiting the resources of this world, and in the long run we are going to destroy ourselves. You have all kinds of programs on the TV telling us, the media hype it is to tell us that the planet is in danger. The planet is not in danger at all. Why they are telling us that the planet is in danger? We are in danger.
Yeah, especially
You see, if we are wiped out by some bacteria they are talking about, it's no loss to the planet at all. All these bodies, millions and millions of bodies, are useful only for one purpose, recycling them. The plants and animal species on this planet. What we have today amongst the plants is 1 point of things that existed before. If you take animals into consideration, 0.5, or maybe it's the other way around, I don't know, I'm not for sure, of the animals that existed before. This sham mockery, I call it, those people who are interested in the animals, the extinction of some particular kind of animals, it's all bosh and nonsense. They are not really interested in saving the animals at all. They want to use that to collect funds. It may sound very cynical, but the fact of the matter is that they want to exploit, telling us that they are interested to see that a particular animal is not extinct. So if the human species is completely wiped out totally, I'll be the first one to go. By the bacteria, nothing is lost for this planet. So they are telling us that the planet is in danger, is a media hype, and we all fall for that kind of a thing.
UGS, we are in midst of preparation for another conference in BC on women, which is discussing equality for women. We are discussing development and peace. Again, I am just telling you, this United Nations effort for last 10 years, starting from Rio conference on environment, came to population, then they came to human rights, and today they have finished social development issues. Now they are concentrating on women issue in relation to women's equality and their development and peace. And we are confronting the same situation. Social peace is a problem again, and we find that social institutions, they are saying in their declaration, in socialist, they want to defend social institutions like marriage and other things, and they say women should participate equally. This is one thing. Number two,
this is too much. I cannot follow. Are women really interested in that kind of a thing? Really? And why do they allow these commercials to exploit sex? I want to know. Why do they have to use sex and women to sell some salt as substitute for the real salt? All these commercials.
They are not allowing exploitation.
Why
What they are doing?
are they using sex?
No, they want to remove the taboo of sex. They say okay, this is a natural thing.
Why?
And these directors are exhibiting those things.
Why women allow that kind of a thing to go on?
We are deliberately using it because we know.
Why the women also like that? I'm not blaming, I'm on their side. You see, why do they allow this kind of a thing to go on? That's all that I'm asking.
Because it sells, you see.
So why talk of, you see,
Sex sells. Everybody uses sex.
why don't you admit
We
that
take
one?
Pepsi Cola and all these things because we like the taste of the Pepsi Cola.
Fine.
Similarly,
What chemicals they use to make that habit forming is anybody's guess.
We use
Why should they import?
We
Why
use anything that makes us self-aware.
That I understand.
The movie must become a success.
No,
Whether
why
we use
you-
sex, God.
Listen,
Yes.
why you are not honest enough to admit that I am out to exploit everything that is available to me to achieve my ulterior goals.
Privately we do, but,
No.
but in the interviews we have to pretend because pretensions is the way of life.
A whole bunch of those people who are interviewing you
We have to pretend to them, otherwise they
are
cannot.
jokers, a bunch of jokers. They have to make a living like you.
Because the reader also
Come on,
pretends.
they are using you. Huh?
Don't you think that this communication people and this includes film people also
Yes.
and television people also? They are not interested for presenting any solution or anything because they don't have any solution.
No, there is fact.
What they are doing, they are exhibiting what are the reality. This is human. I don't say psychology, but human nature. And you have said already.
Yes.
Okay, this dogma, religious institution, they cannot change.
Listen, let me tell you something. This human nature you are talking about can never be changed through the use of anything that is available to us so far. Right? If really you are interested in changing the human beings into whatever you want them to be, it is possible only through the help of genetic engineering. I said this before, and I am always emphasizing this point of view. But at the same time, there is a danger in that. You see, they will hand over whatever they have discovered to the state, and the state will not hesitate to use them to make people do the things they want them to do. So there is no other way. I do not want to emphasize this point. All this is some sort of a neurological disorder in the human brain. Why it is so, I don't know, I cannot make. Forget about all these brain physiologists, they don't know a damn thing about brain. They may not say that this fellow is talking some nonsense. It's all right with me. But they have never looked at a brain functioning exactly the way it is. You study the dead brains, or you use instruments, some scanning, I don't even know what they use. And whatever you see there is the projection of your own ideations and meditations on them. I have known people praising that meditation is something extraordinary. It is not the same that you experience when you take drugs. They show you all those readings. But what they are reading is what they are trying to impose on us, saying that that meditation is quite different from they're taking drugs.
So we are always seeing things as we want them to be.
You want it. See, that is why
Never as they are.
I am telling you one basic thing. I started with this, but we didn't have a chance to record it. Yesterday, we went to the airport in my friend Major's car, and suddenly he saw some bright sun there. I was sitting next to him. Both of us were there in the car. He looked at the sun and said, "What an extraordinary bright sun we have there." I asked him a question. I was sitting next to him, and I also, if I may use the word quote and unquote, looked at it, not the way he looked at it. What is the word? His was a reaction. Mine was a physical response to the sun out there. So it was so bright that it would damage the eyes. Suddenly you close the eyelids and you don't see the sun. And this man's reaction
Mental
was
reaction.
born out of his
Ideas.
ideas about that. What a wonderful bright sun. So I will tell you something. No matter what these physicists tell us, physiologists tell us, the eye specialists tell us, you are sitting and looking at that tree. You see that the tree is flat and not round. They don't have the guts to brush aside totally and completely and wholly the idea of depth in them. You understand? There is no three-dimensional space at all. The physical eye cannot see three-dimensional space. It cannot see the space at all. So all this talk of horizon is absolute rubbish. So it is like that flat. You look at that San Francisco map there. The physical eye sees that exactly the way it is there, and not the depth, not the beauty, not the blue sky there. So all these people, so Einstein's theories must be thrown out. Don't talk of fourth dimension to me. Even third dimension does not exist to the physical seeing of things through the help of our eye. I don't care what they say. They may say that I'm saying some nonsense, but one of these days they have to come to terms with it. What all we have read is absolute rubbish. They are not ready to accept. Somebody comes with some theory today and you award him a Nobel Prize.
So whether it's a religious man or
Or
a
a
scientist or an artist, we are all seeing
Or a psychologist.
things. Or we are all seeing things
Yes,
as we want them to be, not but not as they are.
Yeah. One of the
Which means selling whatever we want.
one of the psychologists is going to interview me there in California University. She's one of the top psychologists. Her name is Margaret Singer or something like that. She has expressed some wish to see me and record an interview. And she's publishing a magazine called Cultist Magazine or something. I'm going to tell that lady, look lady, you are a cultist. There is nothing to your psychological approach to the human problems at all. Is she ready to swallow that? Not at all. I'm going to tell a scientist, a top scientist, if he comes to see me, look buddy, don't talk all that nonsense to me. There is no such thing as space. There is no such thing as matter. There is no such thing as time. But what is called four-dimensional space-time continuum. Once a scientist visited me, and he talked in that strain to me. All these scientific theories which you are throwing out at people are no different from the metaphysicians coming out with those silly, idiotic stuff. You are not different. I will give you a crude example. I asked him, are you ready? You are about to make love to your wife or your girlfriend. If there is no space, what happens to your love making? He stopped in his tracks. What you are saying is true. Do you know what it means? He said, my whole scientific thinking collapses today. He admitted, the psychologist comes and sees me, the top ones from different universities for their own reasons. I tell them, there is no such thing as mind at all. Your analysis is only paralyzing people. You are no different from the priest there who is listening to all the misery of these people, suggesting some prayers, asking them to do this, that and the other. How are you different from that? He says, what you are saying is true, but we want to believe that you are wrong. What will happen to me? I am earning $3,000 a day, meeting all these people. I have to go and give lecture there in the university college. What will happen to me? He said, do it. Don't tell me that you have the answers for the human problems at all. This analysis is paralyzing the people, you know. So I'm not impressed by, we admire science only because their discoveries have resulted in technology. We have that TV camera there, we have this Sony tape recorder here. This is all. And all this is not benefiting the common man. I am not a communist, I don't give a damn for communism. When I visited Russia, I knew that it was a nation of slaves and that the whole nation would collapse. Not that I was a prophet or anything. I watched what was happening there. China is different. We don't want to go into that at all.
So you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. You see inside tunnel at the end of the light. You don't see any light at the end of the tunnel.
There is no tunnel there. You imagine that you are in a tunnel.
So 21st century, there is, as we are talking
It
about.
is not, you may say that I am pessimistic, but next century is not going to be anything better. If we survive for another 100 years, that is doubtful. I am no prophet. Even if the world is destroyed, there isn't going to be any paradise on this planet, just the way all these the priests are talking about. Jehovah's Witnesses are
I have
saying
to catch a flight.
it's going to be a wonderful
I'll
place.
talk to you.
Sorry.
Bye-bye.
A single question.
And
Bye, Eugene.
According to the social development, means all the individuals who are, is there be going to be social development?
Not at all. See, that giving up things is the result of the guilt of the people who have stolen everything that belongs to everybody. Charity is one of the most vicious, vulgar, self-centered activity on the part of these people who give charity. You can start an institution like Mother Teresa and collect millions and millions of rupees, build tremendous institutions saying that she is helping people, and she can get a Nobel Peace Prize, but ultimately she will leave behind only a real estate, and people will fight for a share in that real estate. I know it is easy for you to put the label on me and call me a cynic. Not at all. A cynic's feet are very firmly fixed on this planet, more than anybody else. You know,